So, I fell ill with COVID on January the 3rd. I first started to feel ill on the 2nd of January, and it's crazy how quick it came on. You know, it was like I started to feel a little unwell, and then within 10 minutes I was like a full-blown fever. I remember bringing my daughter home from a walk and fixing her with some lunch and saying to her, you know, you're in control of the TV because Daddy needs to lie down for a little bit. And I just passed out. And it was several hours after until my wife got home rather, that you know, she came in. I woke up and she saw the state of me. Although at first she thought it was a 2-day hangover from Hogmanay, but you know, after a little, you know, 10-15 minutes of like chatting to me, she decided to book me in for a COVID test the next morning. And we drove out to Ingliston, took the test, and then it was about 7:30 that evening that they send you a text message, and yeah, it was positive. So that was a great news. I remember I contacted my team leader Blair the following morning, and you know, she basically made sure that I wasn't working. She just wouldn't let me. And the funny thing was, but by Monday morning I was already starting to feel a little bit better, and I thought, hey, you know, it's not so bad. And the only other other than the fever, I was like, I had some aches and pains. The only other symptom I got was on this sort of Monday night, where it wasn't a loss of taste. You know, people I think was one of the symptoms supposed to be you lose your sense of taste, but I actually lost my appetite. And I'm quite a big boy, so losing my appetite, you know something's wrong. But yeah, that night I just couldn't eat any dinner, and then it was the same on a Tuesday and Wednesday, breakfast, lunch. I was just picking it food, I wasn't really eating it. And then things took a turn for the worse. Things, the Wednesday evening, I started to it was a struggle just to walk to a different room in the house. And then, you know, my breathing was starting to become an issue. So I was having to sleep sitting up to just try and help it. And then, you know, I remember actually on the Friday morning, so that would have been the 8th. My buddy team leader, Justina, I've been calling work every morning, and I never called on Friday morning because I just sort of slept straight through to the sort of early afternoon, and I got a phone call from Justina, and she said to me over the phone, you know, you don't sound great. And I'm sure she was the one that first put into my head, you should probably call NHS 24. And it's a good thing she did, because I would do so that evening, and then they asked me to go to the hospital. So you know, I get to the hospital, and you know, I'm really struggling to move. They order you it's like a COVID taxi to take you where you're going, and I went to the Western General Hospital in Edinburgh, and they had it's a separate building. It's sort of like a little out of hours COVID clinic that they were sort of running. And I saw the doctor. I think the doctor thought I was egging on actually a little bit, if I'm honest. But when he got me sat down, he checked my temperature, which was, you know, extremely high at that point, and he checked my blood oxygen level. Now this is where they really saw like a problem, because the level that they're looking for, I don't know what it is they're measuring, but the level they're looking for is 95, and anything between 90 and 95 is something they'll be slightly sort of concerned about. And at that point, mine was in its late 70s, so you know, there was a bit of a drop there, so that was an immediate concern. And that was the point they said that, you know, initially when they asked me to come to hospital, they was under the impression I'd be going home that evening, but that was when they made the decision that I'd need to be admitted and be treated. And so they moved me up to the ward, And it's just, the thing about this is that your condition just deteriorates so fast. And I'd only been at the hospital like a couple of hours. They took me for a chest X-ray, and they found like all this sort of this black stuff around my lungs, and my left lung was cracked, I wasn't in a great place. It was a lot of information to be sort of given at once. You've got your own sort of fears kicking in as well, and then he checked the blood oxygen level again, and now it was at 59, and I could tell from the way that it was delivered to me that that was bad. And that was when I started to think as well. That was the point I think I really started to think, this is it. Time went so slow for me, because I was just thinking about all sorts of. You're trying to take in what the doctor's telling you, and at the same time, you're thinking. I was personally thinking about my family and friends. There were 3 people in particular in my life, the 3 people that I care about the most, and all I could think about was, I wanted to see them again. It was my daughter's birthday in 3 days' time at that point, and I was just determined, I need to sort of be there for that. And so I remember, well, also like lying down in bed, I remember just suddenly sitting up, no, this is not gonna take this lying down, and it helps that I'm a bad loser, so I just don't like to lose. So I just didn't. But I couldn't do anything. That I think that was what I found the most frustrating, was that what can I do, And they started to give me a steroid treatment, and the steroid treatment is what they used to try and combat the virus. And I didn't find this out then. I found out later that there were discussions going on at that point that if I didn't respond to the treatment, they would have to put me onto a ventilator. And then, my understanding of that is, it's a lot more out of your control. But fortunately, I started to respond, and so they put me into an isolation ward, and that's where I would spend the next week.